Yeah, good to see you, Nimesh.
Good
How
to
are
see
things with
you. Excellent, excellent. We have Dr. Rajeev Fernando here. He's an expert on COVID-19. He's going to tell us a little bit more about it. Give us an update. Thanks.
Yeah, so there's so many things going on. What are your questions really about?
So tell me about this vaccine and tell me what's going on and how the distribution's happening in America and throughout the world.
Yeah, so I think things have gotten so much better, and there's a reason for hope in the community now. We are vaccinating, the United States is vaccinating close to 1.5 million Americans every day. So we're in a great pace right now. This government has really taken control of the vaccinations. Sometime next week, we're going to have doctors' offices, pharmacies, Sam's Club, all these places are going to be giving vaccines. So we're right on target. I do want to take a minute to say that, there's a lot of criticism so far on the way America's handled the vaccine campaign, but to be fair to everyone over here, this is a whole new process. No one has done this before. It's the first time we're doing it. So there are going to be hiccups along the way. The US has vaccinated more people in the world. Europe is still struggling as well. So I think really at this point, we should give ourselves a pat on the back for how the vaccination process is going right now.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. What about this variants and all these new mutations?
Yeah. So this is bound to happen, and this is why I think coronavirus will really be with us for a while, or who knows, for years and years, because these vaccines, these are RNA viruses, and they tend to mutate. It's just like flu. That's why we need a yearly flu vaccine. But the way I've been following this, I think there's good reason for me to believe that this might be something on a year-to-year basis, because we have variants right now. Next year there'll be another variant, or in a few months there'll be another variant. So that's what viruses do. They mutate all the time. So,
kind of like the flu shot.
Exactly, because they mutate. So every year you'll need a flu shot. I think this is what's going to happen with COVID-19. Now we do know the vaccine works really well on the current strains. It works well in the UK strain, but we're starting to see there might be a decreased efficacy for covering the South Africa strain and also the Brazil strain. But I will tell you one thing, that with the vaccines we have right now, even if you hear numbers that would say 65% efficacy and things like that, the one important thing to understand is it'll still prevent death, and that's the big take-home point of view. Even if you see numbers which say 65% efficacy, okay, it might be in mild to moderate cases, but 100%, close to 100%, it'll prevent death. Now, just like Moderna and Pfizer, where they say it's only 95% efficacy, but it's 100% efficacy in preventing death. So if you get the vaccine, there's no chance you will die.
Wow. That's great news. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about our PPEs and such? Are hospitals well equipped now? Do we have a good handle on that?
I think things are going well. And with regards, I'm glad you brought that up with PPE and protection. Now there are updated guidelines on wearing masks, about double masking and things like that, which might be, in theory, it's always been there. It makes perfect sense. That if you wear one mask, you get a certain amount of protection, and if you wear another mask, you get better protection. So some of the things right now is they say one thing you can do is wear a surgical mask, and in order to get that tighter fit, you actually double the loops on your ears, so you get a tighter fit over there. Alternatively, what you can do right now is you can wear a surgical mask, and on top of that you put a clothing mask, a cloth mask. And that will give you about 95% protection from these viruses.
So close to almost like an N95.
Well, N95s are great, but it's important to understand, I don't think they're practical. So remember, if you're wearing an N95 outside, it's hard to wear it all day, an N95, a K95. I don't think that's practical. So, and the other thing is we now know there are plenty of fraudulent N95s entering the country.
Right.
So it's not, I don't recommend that at this point. I think the CDC has just come up with that. I think a lot of people are lukewarm about it, but just to put that in perspective, I think it's overall a good idea. It's pretty simple that, wearing two masks are pretty much better than one.
Awesome. Great. One last thing, it's kind of related to the coronavirus and the flu. How was the flu this year with us Americans being more educated on?
Zero. So, well, not zero, of course there are always cases, but it's fair to assume that the same precautions you use for protecting yourself from COVID-19 will give you the same protection for flu. So, wearing a mask, social distancing, hand hygiene, all of these that you're using for COVID-19 are also going to prevent influenza. So that's why
Awesome.
you barely hear about it.
Awesome. That's great. That's great.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. And
Thank you.
It's always good to be with you.
It's great to see you.
Thanks for all the hard work you guys do to keep the country safe. And humanity will prevail. We will beat this. But I do also want people to understand that this may be a long-term. The pandemic itself will slow down. Normalcy is approaching. We are going to go towards normalcy, but getting rid of the virus entirely, I don't think is on the table. It's going to be around for a while, months to years, I don't even know how long. But the pandemic will end,